Who would I be without you? You are the wind beneath my wings. And also something about you, you're slightly jealous of my Stranger Things vest. Only slightly. Here is the comment, the most recent comment. Like I say, I become smarter because of you. I ask questions and you answer them. So I made a video called MyHeritage Test Results, Confused How Jewish DNA is Categorized. And here's the most recent comment that kind of sums it all up. From Versing Torix Boy, quote, Carmen said it right. I can be wrong, but my perception from what I've read is that Jews, Ashkenazi Jews, being the northern counterpart of their southern Sephardic cousins, have been living in Europe since the time of Roman Empire. Jews have been mixing with native Europeans since then and have created their own unique gene pool, ... It goes on to say, when I say Jew, I clearly mean Semitic/Middle Eastern, which in itself is not very homogeneous, end quote. I just want to focus on that right now. The idea that Jewish people are not very homogeneous. I'm being challenged by this. I accept it and I'm beginning to understand, but I'm still challenged by it. And here's what I mean. So the girl who convinced me to go with MyHeritage for my DNA test on Twitter, she showed me the map. It basically just showed Israel and it just said 100% Jewish, right? I'm struggling to understand what that even means if you are 100% Jewish. I mean, if you're 100% Jewish, can you be half Sephardic Jewish and then half Ashkenazi Jews? Even if you are 100% Jewish, whatever exactly that means, can you still have other things mixed in? Like, for example, as you all know, my sister's test showed up that she's a little bit Ashkenazi Jewish. My mom's shows up 15.2% Sephardic Jewish, though I show up none. But, so for my mom, her Italian father, all that showed up was 2% Italian in her old test. The rest of it largely being the Sephardic Jewish and the Middle Eastern. Well, in theory though, if ultimately there's no real such true thing as 100% Jewish, and it's still linked back to Middle Eastern DNA, arguably could we even say that maybe, in theory, that her father, my grandfather on that side, was pretty much Jewish, in theory. And that when you really break it down, half of that fell over to the side of generically Middle Eastern, and the other half specifically fell through to the side of Sephardic Jewish, which ultimately was Italian, and they found a different angle of that Italian, and it just really showed up more as Jewish than anything. I'm just wondering how well can we truly celebrate? How true can we truly, too many truths. How well can we distinguish is probably the word. What exactly is Jewish DNA? I feel that so much about a person being Jewish is their heritage and their culture and their religion when we think of someone who is Jewish. But, I don't know, Steven Spielberg, okay, a Jewish American, I saw an interview, he said he didn't really embrace his Jewish religion until his second wife, after his divorce, and his second wife, who was Jewish, that's when he became more in touch with the Jewishness. But either way, if we did a DNA test on Steven Spielberg, maybe they already have on one of those TV shows for all I know. Tape whatever Jewish person you can think of right now. How Jewish are they? And how Jewish does their DNA truly need to be in terms of the DNA aspect of it? I totally get it that there's the religion of it, but there is truly the undeniable fact that it's a DNA issue as well. If we're just looking at the DNA, then is there an idea that you can truly be more Jewish than the next guy? I mean, if you're like, I don't know, if you're Jack Black, who's half Jewish, okay, well, but even then, how Jewish is that half? I'm sort of still really just pretty much really confused by how Jewish is Jewish, and ultimately if you're already mixed in with European countries or things like that, you can have someone who's Ethiopian Jewish, which I understand there are, I guess, like tribes in Ethiopia who have for thousands of years remained Jewish, but you look at them and they're black, they're African looking. So perhaps in theory they have more Jewish DNA than of any Jewish person we think of today. Help me sort this out. Help me expand my mind.